Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to New Forest Morphs. It's a late afternoon video today because our electrician came this morning, Jared, and Shane, who's a good friend of ours, came and did some electrical work, which we're super excited to share with you today. And we will go through how we're going to improve the air quality and the air conditioning. But as we are now in the facility and it is nearly 4 o'clock, is it, Jared, or just gone?
Quarter past.
4:15. How are you finding the freshness of the facility since we've been using the Viper bedding and also the new electrical facilities that we've just put in, these new inline fans that we're going to talk about? What's your feeling, Jared?
Well, the smell's almost completely gone.
That's good.
It feels fresh.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel muggy and sticky.
I think it has made a big improvement, and we'll show you our system and what it cost, and anyone else that's thinking about putting their systems in, I would recommend doing it while you build your facility rather than as an add-on later, and we'll explain why. But Jared, we fed our hatchlings yesterday and we had some success, didn't we? So yeah. Let's talk about the success on the feeding front for the hatchlings. We've got 3 black-haired lavender albinos het pieds, 2 girls and a boy, which is beautiful for breeding. And the second girl started to feed by herself, which was great.
Yep.
And what did she take, Jared? Was it one of those small Maltese?
Little Maltese, yeah.
It's a little Maltese. She actually took it in shed. So I've got a picture that Jared sent me, and you can see that she actually took it in shed, which speaks volumes for the fact that the bedding and the size of prey item suited her. And I think that's a really good sign. And the other good news is that I fed for the first time the Exantic, pastel Exantic possible het clown and the clown, pastel clown possible het Exantic. They both ate 2 small baby Maltese, so that's great because they're the last clutch, and they're 2 animals that I wanted to feed and not have to assist feed. So it does pay to fine-tune your system. So later today, because it's the beginning of October, the beginning of the new season as far as we're concerned, I thought it was right for us to just contemplate and think about what we've achieved last season, Jared. What have we learned? What have we adjusted? And what are we planning to do going forwards? And I think it's important to have time for reflection in your breeding plans and in your breeding abilities and your marketing and all other issues that we can think about, and build on the strengths, and the weaknesses can become our strengths, Chad. So even though we may have weaknesses, when we identify those weaknesses we can turn them into our strengths, and that's what I love about life. And the same principle applies to life, not just in the snake facility, but we do all have weaknesses, but our weaknesses can become our strengths if we take the right approach. So let's start with some snake candy. This is one of your favourite little creations of last year, Jared. If you want to just talk through the genetics, why you've called her what she is, and she's called Splash. What's she called?
Swish.
Swish. Okay.
You'll see why. So she's just an ultra male that's 100% het for pied. And when you look at her from the top down, pretty snake, but nothing too special.
Yeah.
But then if you pick her up and look at the side patterns.
Yeah, and you've been doing some pictures for Instagram, which is part of the marketing approach. One good picture a day normally is a good thing to do to get your name and your animals out there. So this is our holdback, and she is absolutely beautiful. She will form, I believe, a future breeder, so that we can actually produce some really wonderful looking ultramale pieds going forwards. And you can see the wacky pattern on this side, Jared. I need to turn.
This is where your hand is. If you open her up a bit.
Okay.
So on the side of her body, she's got this really cool pattern here.
It is lovely, isn't it?
It's wavy. Almost this bit right here looks like a big toe.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks like your fingernail, actually.
Okay. She's got the same pattern on this side as well.
Yeah, it's really wavy, like a scribbly swish.
Yeah, it could be another gene going on here that we don't know about.
Let's see the other side as well.
But it also could be a crazy pattern. Just look at the craziness
on that side as well.
Yeah, I like it. And look at these little double open-eyed alien heads as well.
Really cool. But this side especially here.
Yeah.
This is what I was really drawn to, those squiggles.
But the father was, I think, trying to work out the father. It's either going to be Colt or possibly it'd be Randy. Now Randy is a beautiful example of, he produces beautiful ultramale pieds, and he's a pied het ultramale. You can't see the ultramale in him, but when you produce animals like this, you can see that he's carrying a really special looking ultramale, and he came from the top breeder in Europe that was the first to produce the ultramale pied collection, and we've got his original breeder Jad that came from Kelly, and it comes from a high pedigree, so I'm not surprised how beautiful this is, that we do actually have high-end genetics. You've even got a triple one. See the three-way alien heads in there? Isn't that lovely? So you've got 2s, you've got 3s, you've got some other things going on in here. So I'm just wondering whether there might be some extra genetics in here that we haven't uncovered yet. Just look how crazy that pattern is. You've almost got like a wavy pattern on the top.
Yeah.
It's funky, isn't it?
It's definitely unique. Like, you look at all our other ultra males.
Look at the pattern at the bottom. You can see it's wavy, like a wave.
Yeah. That's
So
what I really like about it.
Wave pattern. And most of the ultra males don't have that, but if you look carefully at the belly pattern, can you see that you've got that wavy look at the bottom with the white?
Yeah.
It's almost like a type of popcorning at the bottom. So there could be something else going on here.
She's definitely a holdback.
Yeah. And let's get the scales out. Let's see how she's weighing.
They're behind you.
Okay. Jan will do that for us. You can bring it to the table, Jan.
She's 165.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, bring the scales, Jan, and we're going to weigh some other animals. Here.
Do you know, I've realised these scales go up in 5 grams.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got to get to the nearest 5 grams.
Oh, okay. We can't adjust to the nearest gram then?
I don't know, it's going 510. Yeah, I really just realised, yeah, division.
Okay.
0.2 ounces or 5 grams.
Okay,
That's alright, I mean, it gives you a ballpark.
Yeah. So I think that was one of our beautiful creations. She's Hetford pied, which makes that magical for us. So I think when it comes to what we've created, she'll be high up there. Have you got a favourite snake, Jad, that you have really like from
I've got a couple.
Do you want to bring out your 2 favourite snakes, and I'll bring out my favourite snakes, holdbacks.
Yeah.
And then let's put her back and let's just see what we've got as to, obviously the creation of what you create are your successes, and hitting some of your projects is really what it's all about.
So this one's got to be one of my favourites here. And this is the, I call it the anaconda.
Let's bring it out on the table and have a look at it, shall we? And we can weigh it as well. Let's guess the weight, Jared.
No, she's got to be about almost 300 grams.
Another girl. Let's have a look and see the weight.
270.
270.
She's really cool though.
She is beautiful. And why is she one of your favourites, Jared?
I really like Super Enchy, but you mix the leopard in with it, you get all these dots. If you hold her down this way.
Yeah.
All these dots really remind me of an anaconda.
Yeah.
And the colouring as well, a little bit. It's a bit more yellow than anaconda, but...
Yeah. So we believe that she's carrying Super Enchy leopard. Look at the black head stamp. Isn't that just stunning?
That's Super Enchy.
So it's actually black. The leopard and the Super Enchy together give you that lovely black arrow looking head, which I think is really pretty, Jared. And
Yeah,
the Super Enchy also gives you banding from the leopard. So you see the leopard banding. It's the banding of the Enchy. Is the double effect is very pretty.
And you can dots to get me though.
Yeah. And I think that's a combination of the Super Enchy and the leopard fighting with each other. That's creating those dots, I think. They're trying to band, but they can't band, if you know what I'm saying.
And she is 100% Het Clown, 100% Het DG, and possible Het Cryptic.
Exactly. So very powerful animal. I think this is one of our most beautiful creations. And interesting enough, she's not a visual clown, she's that pretty. And you often find some of the leopard Het clowns are prettier than the leopard clowns. It's really interesting. So I think you've picked out this girl. Let me pick out one of my favourite creations. And what I like about this creation is that it defied all odds, because we only had 2 eggs, of which one egg I thought was weak veins, and I was only expecting one particular baby, but it's clutch 30 at the end, and I'm going to bring them both out. They're both 8, but I do think this has got to be one of my favourite, because it's one of my favourite projects, and I've been trying for 4 years to produce an Exantic clown, or a pastel Exantic clown. And of course we've done this against all the odds, meaning that we're trying to achieve the pastel Exantic clown on a double het to double het, and that's 1 in 16. So we're already stretching the odds straight away. But when you have a girl that gives you 2 fertile eggs over a season where you've not had a lot from her, and she gave us some slugs the year before, you think to yourself, what is going on, and are we ever going to get anywhere with this project? And I was ready to buy an Exantic het clown. Now, this is the one that ate yesterday, which I think is very, very pretty. You can see he's ready to feed again, but he's got a meal in him, so I won't disturb him too much, Jared. Just look at those beautiful patterns. It looks like a zebra, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the Exantic.
You see that?
And the pastel makes it so white.
It does, and I think it's a gorgeous snake. And
he will definitely brown out as he gets older, though.
But I think what we do is we add Hypo and DG into it,
DG.
and Leopard, and
Super pastel.
You can add things to it that will enhance the quality of the genetic. So we won't weigh him, but I think he's probably about 80 grams, Jared. But he
was
really
quite a
is,
small baby.
He's a beautiful, beautiful animal. We're hoping that he will, or she will, prove to be het for clown. So if I just, there you go, he's a little bit shy, but it was so wonderful when I presented a small multi-term and he took it, Jared. Yeah. It was so pleasing, it really was. And look at the funky pattern on his back as well. See those funky patterns on the back? Isn't that just lovely? Beautiful animal. So the pastel Exantic, and the Exantics are becoming very popular, Jared. I think out of all of our customers who have requested snakes from us, Exantic is ranking very highly. So we learned something from that. We learned that we produce what the market requires, and I think one of the things that we've learned this year is we've produced a lot of animals. We've tested how much Jared and I can actually do this, and we've been pushed to the max, haven't we, Jared? Putting in big long days to keep everything clean, keep everything fed. We've got to the point now where most of the hatchlings are feeding for themselves. There's probably a handful that haven't yet fed for themselves that Jared's assist feeding. But I think we've learned techniques of how to improve the feeding of the hatchlings. And what are the two things, Jared, that you would say have helped us with the feeding of the hatchlings?
Introducing the small little Maltese, because I think Maltese give off a special scent and they love that.
Yes.
And then the other thing will be the bedding.
Absolutely. And I think already from a cleaning time perspective, in terms of you can see this one's a firecracker. And there she is. I won't mess with her, but I'm hoping that she is het for Exantic, Jared. And if she is, we've got what we need. And if it's a boy and a girl, it's really going to be good news, because we can actually breed them to each other, and we stand a 1 in 4 chance of hitting a killer pastel.
I would bet that is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I bet that is a het Exantic.
And why would you bet that, Jared?
The colouring on it is very different to a normal pastel clown.
Yeah.
Really white teardrops and then almost faded at the top.
Let's compare it with a pastel clown that we produced from another clutch, Jared. I'll get those out and see what the comparison is, but let's just do that and see.
She's certainly a nipper. She wants to bite. You'll find a lot of babies are like this, self-defense. Probably doesn't like a big camera in her face as well.
Yeah. And also she's now in feeding mode, so this is what we believe to be a pastel.
I think it's blade
clown, but this one's probably got blade, because I think one of my original clowns, Joker, must have been a blade clown, Jared.
Yeah.
The reason why I think it's blade is, how do we define blade, Jared? If you look at the pattern on it,
very reduced. Look at the stripe.
So this could have blade in as well. And
compared to that.
Yeah, so if you want reduced pattern, you put blade into your clowns and you can see the blade shapes through here. So instead of them actually coming down, there are some drops, but compared to her, she's got bigger drops. Yeah. But they are both very similar animals in terms of what they are. They're both pastel and they're both clowns. This one's got blade and that one's got the het Exantic influence, I believe, Jared. That's what I'm thinking here. And you can see this one's a couple of months ahead of that one, but doing well. And if we were to weigh it, Chad, let's just weigh this one and see where we are. What weight do you think we've got there?
125.
125. Now what I could do,
within that range. Careful, he's going to bite you.
If I put them together, you can see them alongside each other. So the blade has a reduced effect and gives you almost a complete dorsal with very little alien heads drops coming out the side. There are some on there, and the other one has a much brighter look to it, meaning that that could be the influence of the Exantic, because it's stripping,
I think it might,
some of the darker tones from the animal.
Look at the black outline as well.
Yeah,
that black outline is very
absolutely
prominent.
So I'm going to be very careful here and try to take this one out without getting bitten. She almost got me.
Here you go, little girl. Go back in your hide.
They're both feeders, aren't they? They both want to feed. So I think these two have been pretty much quite a highlight for me. And it's your choice now, Jared, if you'd like to choose your next snake. I'll put these back.
So far I'm just going off looks. Obviously we've got genetics that are incredible, but looks wise, I think one of my favourite looking ones has got to be Toothless.
Okay, you want to get him out or shall I put him out? So which one have we got? So Toothless is this one.
This has got to be one of my favourite looking ones.
Yeah. And if you're going to bring out Toothless, I'm going to bring out a Pastel Cine Lesser Clown, which I think is very pretty as well. And we can just see what we've achieved here now. The Toothless hopefully is a gravel lesser.
I think it is.
Clown. And we've got a shed on him, I think, that we're going to hopefully find out once the shed test comes back. Now, he is beautiful. He's got a love heart on his head, so of course that's a big winner. He's very, very pretty. He's got a lovely temperament. He's growing well, feeding well, and we're feeding him 30-gram Maltese at the moment. And he's taken one a week. We tend to feed once a week rather than every 5 days, and we try to give them decent sized prey items. And just look at that dorsal, how pretty it is, Jared. It's got those blades on it.
Again, I think that might be a blade clown.
Do you think that could be a blade clown?
I think it's a lesser gravel blade clown.
I wonder if we've got an extra gene in here we don't know about.
It's just so reduced compared to normal lesser clowns.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see whether we have got blade. Yeah. And I reckon he's getting on for over 200 now.
Yeah, no.
Shall we go down and have a look?
275.
275. I mean, he's not far away from next year's breeding, is he?
Really cool.
He might even be ready to breed this coming season if we get him up to 600-700, which we probably could.
He's pounding food.
I mean, honestly, he's eating so well, and it's so beautiful. And just have to hope that he's carrying that gravel. This is the one that I like.
It's going into shed.
Is it going into shed? But I won't touch it because he's going to shed. What we'll do is we'll pour a bit of water. Yeah. This is the lesser. Again, it could be blade in that one as well, Jad. So that's a lesser cinnamon pastel clown girl. And we've been very blessed with the girls and the clowns. We needed a few girls, didn't we, Jad? And I think that's good for us to build up our females going forwards. And we'll put these two back. Do you want to choose another one, Jared?
Sure.
How much time we've got on the video?
We've had 17 minutes.
Right. I want to leave a bit of time for the new electrical stuff that we've done, Jared.
So I love all of the lesser pastel gravel clown stuff. I love those.
Yeah.
I mean, we can have a quick look, little shout out for them, but they're really pretty.
Yeah.
And there's a load like that. Yeah. But I think if I had to pick another one, it's got to be either Oreo or.
Let's have a look at Oreo. We'll take him out now, Jared. And I'll bring my favourite one, which is Lover Boy, which is the Bamboo Ultramel. So you've chosen to put cocoa bedding and viper bedding on for him.
Yeah, this one was another one that wasn't eaten too well.
Yeah, but he is pretty, isn't he? We still haven't quite worked out what we've got there. It's definitely pastel, definitely cinnamon.
Pied.
But there's something else, I think. It's almost got the camo look to it, so something else is going on there.
Definitely something.
So we've been very lucky to hit some really unusual snakes with some amazing patterns and colours. And this is the one that I think is beautiful. It used to be a firecracker, but we're taming it down a little bit. That is your Bamboo Ultramel, and it is possible 50% possible Xanthic as well, which could be worth getting that tested, Jared.
It's worth noting that this came out almost completely white, this snake.
It's changed colour.
I thought it was just a bell and then it started changing.
I've listed it as a cherry bomb ? And now I've realised it's not a cherry bomb. The bamboo is manifesting itself as on each shed. But I think it's an absolutely beautiful animal, and hopefully he'll let me pick him up without getting bitten.
It's chilled out quite a bit to me.
He has, so let's just weigh him and see what we've got.
$160.
160, so
This one's only had 1 or 2 meals because it's quite a new snake, so
yeah,
not worth weighing.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we do have some other favourite snakes we'll bring out on part 2 of this video because
just one more for today.
Go on the Jared.
I think it needs to come out.
Yeah.
And that is the lavender blackhead girl.
Yeah, when they came out and we hit 3 of them, Jared, they came out 4 eggs. I think the odds have been very good for us this year.
Yeah, we have got very lucky.
Yeah, although I think we've got a lot of males from the ultramarine clutches. The clown clutches a lot of females. We've been very blessed. I suppose if you're going to bring out one, I should bring out one more as well then.
So she's weighing 130 grams now. And she's one of my personal favourites, like the highlighting that you can see.
She is beautiful. Is she going to shed?
No.
No, okay. This is the other one I think that we've got to really give a shout out to, because I think you're loving this snake, Jad, aren't you? And she's getting ever so big.
Yeah, this one and its sibling as well. They're both amazing.
So here we go, and she's a good size. Let's see what she's weighing. Way over 200, I think.
300, 305.
305. There we go.
310.
310. So she's progressing so well, and this was from our attempt at the Batman, and I'm looking at that and I'm seeing possibly vanilla, pastel perhaps, and vanilla. I'm looking at spot nose for sure, clown for sure, and lesser is in there. Is it lesser? I think it could be.
Yeah, I think
it's fading, so there's lesser in there. I don't think there's leopard.
No, there's no leopard in there.
But look at these crazy patterns on the side here from the spot nose. Spot nose clowns are beautiful, Jared.
Yeah, I like their heads as well.
Yeah, and we've got another one very similar to this, haven't we? That's really pretty, and apparently that one is nailing food like it's going out of fashion, because yesterday, Jared, the one that was picky has suddenly become a very good eater.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing: is stay with your animals, even though maybe they look a bit gentle when it comes to feeding. Once they get going, they really get going. We found that with the blackhead. Double hecht is a clown lavender, is it?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
he just shed out as well.
So we've been blessed this year with lots of future breeding projects, and there's lots more we'll share on part 2. And how much time we've got on this one, Jared?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. So that gives us time to talk about the electrical stuff, and then we will tomorrow talk about some of the things that we've learned from this season and what we're planning next season as well. And we'll just talk you through the electrical adjustments we've made here. So it has been quite an exhausting season for us, Jared, hasn't it? I think we've been pushed to the max. We put in the equivalent of 4 hours of man labour per day here with 2 of us, and me on the weekends putting in 3 or 4 hour shifts each day. And we're thinking seriously about our adults and whether we move them onto viper bedding as well, Jared, because your experience is that the spot cleaning is working, you're getting through the babies quicker, you're doing daily water changes as a result to keep the water clean. So they're getting daily water changes. I'm finding that the adults need cleaning more with paper, so I'm thinking maybe we'll try the viper bedding on these as well, but we're going to go steady at a time. But I think the overall impression is the viper bedding is working for us, the animals are feeding, Jared likes working with it, which is important. Easy for you to make up as well, and I think it's a good product.
Yeah.
So let's turn our attention now to how we've improved the facility here, Jared. We've done lots of things, but the one that I want to focus on is what the electrician has done today. It's cost us £756 to do this, but we've got 2 6mm or 6-inch inline what would you call fans, basically.
Extractor fans.
Extractor fans with a controller. So you'll see here, these are the 2 that we've got. Here is the extractor, so that's going to extract air out of the facility. And that one is the inlet, so that brings in fresh air. And we've got one central control panel. And Jared, if we can...
And a thermostat as well.
And a thermostat at the top, so that's going to control 3 things, Jared. This was originally designed for people that are growing plants in greenhouses or polytunnels, and what it does, it allows you to set humidity, temperature, and there's another factor here, which is, Jared, you looked into it, which we don't need to know about, but it's
yeah, it's like the capacity that the air has to hold moisture.
Yes.
Which is called KPA.
KPA. Now, if anyone understands that principle and whether we can use it in our snake facility, then we've got the reading on that. The nice thing is on a smart meter, which means we can control it remotely anywhere in the world with a Wi-Fi. And Jared, why don't we give a demonstration? Maybe you can get your phone out and I'll video you doing a demo.
Oh, it's my fitness pal.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah.
And then we can switch the fans on and everything else, and then away we go. So
that's what it looks like.
So we've got the light shining on that at the moment. Let me just come round a bit. Okay, that's better.
Okay. So we normally have it set on automatic, which means if it goes above 80 degrees in the facility,
ambient temperature,
it will kick on really powerfully to reduce that back down so it doesn't go over 80.
Yeah.
We have it set to be on a minimum of 4 speed, so it has 10 speeds, which I'll show you. You can hear it kicking in now. If I just turn it on, so it's 4, you can turn it all the way up to 10. You hear the aeroplane taking off.
Okay. Now if I was to come over here, so this is the inlet. So that's pumping fresh air in. And then if you put the fans on as well, Jared, what we're doing is the fresh air, and if I shut the door here, the way it's working is, Jared's just turning it down now, but the way it works is that this pumps fresh air in from outside, and if you look at the outside of the facility, there is a grid to keep insects and birds out. But effectively, the 2 jet engines in a way, one that's going out that way, one that's coming in.
Yeah.
That will bring in fresh air that will hit this wall here, keep the TV cool as well.
It will circulate
around.
Like a fish tank.
Like a fish tank. And then that fan will push the fresh air towards the snakes. And it pushes it down towards the fan at the bottom. Now Jared, the idea is that you can physically feel the movement of the air, can't you?
Yeah, it's nice, it's cool, it's refreshing.
Yeah. We're still going to keep our filtration system here. This is an air filter that keeps the air clean, so you still need to have a cleaner. Jared will switch that on now. So Jared changes that filter regularly. That keeps the air clean. And then this air circulation, turn it up to its highest level, Jared. Let's get it really working. And we'll get the other fan working, and you'll see that the good news is that you can put this on, say, 10 minutes before you walk into the facility, and it allows us to walk into fresh air, but also it gives fresh air for the animals. So you'll find that the health of the animals should improve. So even though it seems like a lot of money to spend on the system, so Jared's got that fan working now, pushing off. Stale air goes sucked out through that inlet there, and pumps it outside the facility. So already, Jared, I'm finding a huge difference. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, you cleaned one earlier and it stank.
Yeah.
And we turned this on for a couple of minutes, the smell's gone.
That's right. Right, if we switch those off, Jared. So it's all good. Jared can control it on his phone, and we can turn the fans off as well.
Well, we'll definitely ensure that we've got clean air in here, that's
Absolutely.
for sure.
So we'll be able to have tea and coffees in here and not be subdued by the smell of poo or urine that these animals. Now, I cleaned out Isa. Have a quick look at Isa, Jared. She's now shed out, and she left me with a really smelly, some really smelly urates. And I've just cleaned her out. She's looking wonderful. She was responsible for a lot of the smell in the facility. And once we'd cleaned her and we put on the, Jared could notice, he said, "Cool, what are you cleaning, Dad?" And I said, "I'm cleaning ice." It was very strong.
I thought you were peeing in the sink.
I would never do that. But 5 minutes later, when we run these fans, I kid you not, it's like being out in the New Forest fresh air. And I think we're looking forward to this, because the more snakes you have, the more build up there will be. So I think as long as you keep on top of things with the cocoa husk absorbing and the facility working well, thank you very much everyone, and we'll see you next time.